Hello YouTube, this is a Florida rider heading off to see the sunset again, and I might actually make it, hopefully without getting wet. You never really know when you're going to get wet this time of the year in Florida, so you just hope that you don't, and hope that if you do, it's on the way home. Otherwise it becomes uncomfortable no matter where you're going, except of course to the beach. Well, this is turning out to be my year of Bluetooth and integration, and the way it happened is a bit odd and I have to admit that it does deal with jealousy a little bit too. You see, I have the oldest car in my family. Most of my relatives have much newer cars than me because they need cars, but not me. So I have an old car whose purpose is to hold down the driveway and keep me dry. And it does both of those things just fine. That also means, however, that the stereo system is as old as the car, which makes it 11 years old, which is pre-Bluetooth. Very pre-Bluetooth, I might say. And two of my relatives who are technically considered elderly have new cars, and they have Bluetooth. Now, they are learning how to use the Bluetooth, and I said to myself, wow, I want that, when one of them showed me what it could do. You see, I also had the best phone. Now granted, it is an iPhone 3GS, but it's better than their flip phones. However, all of us do have Bluetooth on our phones. So back in, I think it was May, I found a Bluetooth thingamajig that I can plug into the cigarette lighter of the car and have Bluetooth in the car. Yay! Now, I don't make a lot of phone calls from the car because I'm not often in the car. Even when I am in the car, I'm usually in the city, and there's no way in heck I'm going to make phone calls in the city. I mean, I'm not a very good driver anyway. I don't get into accidents. I'm just a sort of average driver, I guess, and I don't want to be too distracted. However, I can now listen to the music on my iPhone or my iPod Touch in the car without worrying about CDs and all that. And I've got well over 1,000 songs on my iPod Touch, so it's awesome to hear my music. The next logical step, of course, was a Bluetooth headset for my motorcycle. And I've had the Sena 20S ever since, I think, July. Late June or early July. And I do love it, by the way, because once again I can listen to my music on the motorcycle. Now, I do listen to that sometimes in the city, not often, but sometimes. But it's generally distracting. I have made a few phone calls on it just to try that function, and hope to use the intercom function soon when I go for a ride with someone who actually has one, or something compatible. So, the next logical step for me is a GPS that has Bluetooth. Now, longtime viewers know that I have my faithful companion Tom, who is at home right now because I don't need him, because I know where the beach is. You just sort of head west until you fall into the ocean, and then you're there. And Tom has served me very, very well in the past 3 years. I bought him for like 50 bucks. By the way, it's a TomTom, and I couldn't give it a better recommendation. It's gotten me all over the eastern seaboard. It's gotten me all around Pennsylvania. It got me down to Baltimore once for a baseball game. By the way, baseball games are free on your birth month in Baltimore, in case anyone happens to be going that way during their birth month or possibly live up there. And it's gotten me down to the Keys. I've used it in my car. I've used it on my motorcycle, and I've used it on my scooter. And Tom has been nothing but awesome. However, he doesn't have Bluetooth. So in the spirit of integration, watch out for the street light, you moron. So in the spirit of Bluetooth integration, today I ordered a Bluetooth satellite navigation. Or sat nav, or oh, GPS. Sorry, they're called GPS in the US. In the UK they call them sat nav. I believe the proper terminology is satellite navigation, and in Germany they're called navies. Anyway, so since I had such good luck with Tom, I've ordered his bigger brother. It is a TomTom 1535 TM, and it has live traffic and free map updates. And I ordered it on Amazon for only, I think it was $120. So then I'll be able to integrate that. So then Tom will speak to me in my helmet, and I'll actually be able to hear him rather than just look at the screen and follow the arrow. How exciting is that? Now, I haven't ordered the GoPro backpack or whatever it's called to integrate my motovlogging into my Sena 20S because I don't have a GoPro. I'm one of those fools who's holding out for drift to get off their lazy butts and innovate. But then that's another motovlog. Anyway, that's about it for my gear update. This is the Florida Riders signing off. Goodbye. Okay, YouTube, so this is a quick update. It's been about a week and a half since I made the original Bluetooth video. I just haven't gotten around to posting it yet. And I already have an update. I found my solution. So what I did was I ordered a TomTom with Bluetooth and thought that that would work. Well, it worked fine, but not with the helmet because it only connects to phones. So I sent it to the case I bought for it and the mounting thing I bought for it back, and ordered a Garmin that supposedly works with Sena headsets. Well, if it does, it sure doesn't work with the 20S. So I had to do the same thing. Luckily, I figured this would probably be some kind of a process, so I set up a free trial for Amazon Prime, which gives you 2-day shipping for free. I'm going to cancel it, of course, before they actually bill me for it on October 13th, but I figured this would enable me to get it done quicker. So what I finally did was I went to Facebook and Feed, that's P-H-E-E-D, and I made an appeal to my fellow motovloggers, or motorcyclists in general, I should say, about wanting some kind of Bluetooth device for under $200 that works with the Sena 20S. And while I did get several likes on that status, there was only really one answer given. In my post, I was very specific that I did not want to have to be using cellular data to do this. If someone had mentioned using some kind of app like the Garmin app or something like that, but I have a very, very limited data plan, 100 megabytes a month, so I didn't want to have to use my data plan for a GPS. Finally, help came from across the pond in the form of Mr. Sparky Aprilia, who is also Mr. Sparky Awesome, I might add, and he told me of this CoPilot app that didn't require any kind of cellular data to be used. Granted, you might have to turn it on from time to time so it can find out where you are if you haven't been using it, or to find a new destination to enter but that only takes about 2 or 3 minutes, and it shouldn't use up much data at all. And apparently, as far as I can tell, it uses a GPS receiver in almost any iPhone above the 3. I'm actually using it right now in my 3GS, which we all know is outdated, but who cares, it works. And it also works on the iPod Touch 4 and the iPod Touch 5. Now, I do actually own an iPod Touch 5 because it doesn't require any kind of service, so I have a 32 gigabyte one of those. I did the free trial first just to see what I was getting myself into, and it works. Now granted, the evening I did it, it was raining, so I couldn't test it on the bike, so I tested it in the car instead, and it seemed to do just fine. And so I went home and I bought the actual app. It was $11.99. And today's the first day I've had a chance to try it on the motorcycle, and it's doing just fine. I did have to buy the RAM mount for it. I opted to go with the handlebar mount instead of the little whatever you call it here thingy mount. Just because there's very little space for the whatever you call it here thingy mount to go in, so I opted for this. And it works just fine. I have no complaints about it. So, this means my good old TomTom has gone into retirement as of today. He was awesome for the over 3 years that I had him. And I'm going to keep him just in case. Just in case of what? I don't know. If all of my electronics break down or something like that. And partially for nostalgia reasons too. Because my TomTom was indeed awesome. But now, I'll be plugging the CoPilot app when asked for a suggestion about what to use for GPS. So now I'm pretty much Bluetoothed. I've got the little stick thingy for the car, which brings everything into my car stereo. And I've got my 20S, which brings everything into my helmet. And now I've got an awesome app. And another round of thanks to Mr. Sparky Awesome, because a motorcycle GPS would cost between $300 to $500. So he just saved me a heck of a lot of money. So, Mr. Sparky Awesome, you rock. Thanks, dude. And everybody else, you rock too. Just not as much as Mr. Sparky Awesome. Anyway, this is the Florida Rider signing off. Goodbye.